You're about to hear something most men never discover, not even in their 30s or 40s. A truth that explains why some men walk into a room and women feel them before they even look, and why other men talk, chase, text, explain, impress, and still get ignored. It's the truth that attraction doesn't start with your words. It starts long before them. Before the first glance, before the first smile, before the first text. Attraction begins in the way a man exists inside his own skin. Most men think seduction is something you do, but real seduction is something you are. It's the quiet way you stand, the stillness in your presence, the calm in your breath, the way you occupy space without needing to be noticed. A woman feels this instantly, not because she's analyzing you, but because evolution has wired her to read subtle signals men don't even know they're sending. She can feel the man who moves from purpose, and she can smell the man who moves from insecurity. You know that moment when you see a guy who doesn't chase, doesn't try to impress, doesn't rush to fill silence, and somehow women drift toward him without him doing anything? That's not luck. That's not charisma. That's not even confidence. That is silent value. The presence of a man whose life is bigger than a single moment with a single woman. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Most men sabotage this without knowing. Every time you over-explain, seek reassurance, over-smile, over-text, try too hard to be liked, you're not being friendly. You're revealing dependence. And dependence kills desire. So in this video, I'm going to show you the real mechanism behind attraction. The invisible psychology, the biological triggers, and the subtle stoic principles that make a woman feel pulled toward you before you ever say a single word. If you're ready to stop chasing and start becoming the man women naturally gravitate toward, keep watching. That we need to strip away the lies you have been told about dating. You have been sold a script that tells you to perform, to entertain, to be the clown that dances for attention. That script is the fastest way to become invisible to a woman's primal desire. Understand that a woman's attraction mechanism is not logical. It is biological, ancient, and ruthless. It does not care how nice you are. It does not care how much you want her. It only cares about one thing: survival value. And nothing screams low value louder than a man who is uncomfortable in the silence. The moment you rush to speak because the air feels heavy, you have lost. You have signaled to her nervous system that you cannot handle tension. And if you cannot handle the tension of a simple silence, her instincts tell her you cannot handle the tension of the world. You cannot protect her. You cannot lead. You're looking to her to regulate your emotions, and that is the antithesis of masculinity. The modern man is terrified of the void. He is terrified of the pause. He fills it with nervous laughter, with useless questions, with fidgeting hands. He checks his phone not because he needs to, but because he needs to look busy. This is the behavior of prey, not the predator. A lion does not fidget. A lion does not apologize for occupying space. A lion rests in total stillness until it's time to move, and when it moves with absolute intention. This brings us to the concept of energetic leaking. Most men are leaking energy everywhere. You leak energy when you nod your head too fast while she is speaking, trying to show her you're listening. You leak energy when your eyes dart around the room, seeking approval. You leak energy when you respond to her text in 30 seconds when she took 3 hours to reply to yours. This is not responsiveness. This is availability. And availability without investment is cheap. Think about the economics of desire. What is readily available is rarely valued. Air is free, and nobody thinks about it until it is gone. Gold is rare, and men kill for it. When you are overly available, when your presence is cheap, you become the air, necessary perhaps for a moment, but completely forgettable. You want to be the gold. You want to be the resource she has to work to acquire. This is not about playing games. It is about valuing your own existence. When you treat your time as an abundant resource that you are desperate to give away, she will treat it as worthless. But when you treat your attention as a limited, high-value commodity that she must earn, her entire psychological orientation toward you shifts. She stops leaning back and starts leaning in. Let's talk about the biology of the safety officer. In the wild, the alpha male was the one who was most alert to the environment, not the one obsessed with the female. The weak male is obsessed with the female because he needs her validation to feel safe. The strong male is focused on the horizon. He is scanning for threats, for opportunities, for changes in the environment. His attention is outward, expansive, protective. Paradoxically, this lack of direct focus on the woman makes her feel safer. It signals that you are the captain of the ship, watching the ocean, not the passengers staring at the other passengers. When you're on a date, or even just meeting someone, if your eyes are glued to her face, analyzing her every micro-expression to see if she likes you, you are signaling anxiety. You are the passenger. Try this instead. Keep your focus 60% on the environment and 40% on her. Look at the waiter, look at the door, look at the people around you. Move with a slow, relaxed awareness. When you do look at her, make it intense, make it deliberate, and then break contact on your own terms. This communicates that she is a part of your world, but she is not the center of your universe. This independence is magnetic. It triggers a fear of loss in her. Not a toxic fear, but a healthy realization that you are a man who has a mission outside of her. A man she has to chase to keep. Now, consider the speed of your existence. High status is always slow. Low status is always rushed. Think of a king versus a messenger. The messenger runs. He is out of breath. He is anxious. He is on someone else's time. The king walks slowly. He breathes deeply. He knows the meeting does not start until he arrives. When you speak fast, when you stutter, when you interrupt yourself, you are signaling that you do not believe your words have value. You are rushing to get them out before you are interrupted. You are the messenger. To seduce without words, you must adopt the tempo of a king. Slow down your movements. If you're going to pick up your drink, do it at half the speed you normally would. If you're going to turn your head, do it with a smooth, controlled motion. This might feel unnatural at first because your nervous system is addicted to the dopamine of haste. But to her, it reads as supreme confidence. It says, I am in control of time. I am not a slave to it. This control creates a gravity well. It pulls her rhythm down to match yours. And when a woman synchronizes her rhythm to yours, she is already submitted to your lead on a biological level, though we must address the shadow of neediness. Carl Jung spoke of the shadow as the hidden parts of ourselves. For many men, the shadow is a deep, desperate need for maternal approval. You project this onto the women you date. You want her to smile so you feel like a good boy. You want her to laugh so you feel funny. You want her to touch you so you feel lovable. This is the energy of a child asking for a cookie, not a man offering an experience. Women have a sixth sense for this mother-son dynamic, and it is the single greatest killer of sexual polarity. You cannot sleep with someone you are mothering. To break this, you must kill the boy inside who needs the pat on the head. You must become self-validating. When you say something, you amuse yourself. If she laughs, good. If she doesn't, also good. You are not offering a joke to purchase her laughter. You are sharing your reality because it pleases you. This shift from transactional interaction to expressive interaction changes your entire vibe. You stop scanning her face for permission. You become solid. And a woman can only relax into her feminine energy when she feels a solid masculine structure to lean against. If you are fluid, anxious, and constantly changing shape to please her, she has nothing to hold on to. She has to become the rigid one. She has to become the man. And she will resent you for it. The subtle art of negative space is your greatest weapon. In art, negative space is the empty area around the subject that gives it definition. In seduction, negative space is your absence, your silence, your withdrawal. Most men are afraid to withdraw. They think if they stop texting, she will forget them. They think if they look away, she will leave. The opposite is true. Desire grows in the space between two people. It cannot grow when you're smothering it. You must learn to be comfortable creating distances. Send a text, then put the phone away for hours. Make a statement, then sit back and look at her without feeling the need to elaborate. Let the question hang in the air. This pressure, this negative space, forces her to invest. She has to lean forward to bridge the gap. She has to ask the question. She has to send the double text. Every time she invests energy to close the gap you created, her attraction to you deepens. Is the sunk cost fallacy applied to dating? The more effort she puts into winning your attention, the more valuable your attention becomes in her mind. But you cannot fake this. If you're creating distance as a manipulation tactic, but inside you're checking your phone every 30 seconds, sweating bullets, she will feel the incongruence. You must genuinely embrace your own life. You must genuinely be busy building your empire, hitting the gym, mastering your craft. The distance must be real because your mission is real. Let's go deeper into the micro-rejection. This is a concept few understand. Every time you try too hard, laughing too loud at a bad joke, agreeing with an opinion you actually hate, apologizing for something that wasn't your fault, you are rejecting yourself. You are telling the world, my true self is not good enough, so I will present this fake, pleasing version instead. This self-rejection is repulsive. It is the scent of the nice guy. The nice guy is not actually nice. He is manipulative. He is trading compliance for sex. He is trading agreeableness for love. And women hate him because he is dishonest. The jerk, or the bad boy, often gets the girl not because he is mean, but because he is honest. He does not compromise his truth to make her comfortable. He says what he thinks. He does the things he wants to do. This authenticity is refreshing in a world of plastic men. You don't need to be a jerk, but you must be authentic. You must be willing to disagree. You must be willing to say no. The word no is the most powerful aphrodisiac in the male vocabulary when used correctly. A man who can look a beautiful woman in the eyes and say no to a request that violates his boundaries is a man who cannot be bought. And a man who cannot be bought is the ultimate prize. There is a biological trigger called preselection that you're likely ignoring. In the tribal days, if a man was surrounded by women, it meant he had been vetted. He was safe. He had resources. He had good genes. Today, you don't need a harem following you to trigger this, but you must carry the energy of a man who has options. This is the abundance mindset. The desperate man operates from scarcity. He acts like this woman is the last bottle of water in the desert. He grips her too tight. He panics if a drop spills. The abundant man knows there is an ocean of water. He enjoys the drink, but he does not fear the thirst. How do you fake this? You don't. You build a life so rich, so full of social connection, purpose, and hobbies, that any single woman is just a complement to your life, not the foundation of it. When you talk to her, do not isolate yourself in a corner. Interact with the bartender. Interact with the elderly couple at the next table. Be the social hub. Show her that you are connected to the tribe. When she sees that other people respond positively to you, her attraction circuit is validated. She thinks others value him, therefore he must be valuable. It is social proof, and it bypasses her logical brain entirely. Let's analyze the eyes. The eyes are the only part of the brain that is visible from the outside. They transmit your mental state instantly. Anxious eyes blink rapidly. They widen in fear. They narrow in suspicion. They drop when challenged. The magnetic man practices the soft focus. This is a gaze that is relaxed yet penetrating. It takes in a whole face, not just the eyes. It does not flinch. When she tests you, and she will test you, she will say something provocative. She will tease you. She will pull away. Your eyes must remain unchanged. This is the Stoic gaze. It says, your chaos does not disturb my peace. This emotional impermeability is incredibly sexy. It signals that you are an anchor in the storm. If she can rattle you with a comment, she knows she can control you. If she can control you, she cannot respect you. And without respect, there is no attraction. Practice holding eye contact just a second longer than is comfortable. In that extra second, you claim the dominance of the interaction. You are the one who decides when the connection breaks. It is a subtle power move, but it screams authority. Breathing is the remote control for your nervous system. Most men are shallow breathers. They breathe into their chest, short and sharp. This activates the sympathetic nervous system, fight or flight. You're literally signaling to your body that you're in danger. This releases cortisol, the stress hormone. Cortisol kills testosterone. It makes you smell like fear. You must consciously shift your breathing to your belly. Slow, deep, rhythmic nasal breathing. This activates the parasympathetic system, rest and digest. It lowers your heart rate. It deepens your voice. A deep, resonant voice is not just about vocal cords. It is about relaxation. You cannot project a commanding voice from a tight throat. When you slow your breath, your reality slows down. You stop feeling the urge to rush. You stop feeling the urge to impress. You settle into your body. And when you're settled, you become a gravitational force. She will find herself calming down in your presence. She will attribute this feeling of safety to you. You become her drug. She wants to be around you because you regulate her anxiety just by being there. This is the essence of holding frame. It is not an intellectual argument. It is an energetic domination of the space through the control of your own biology. Now let's talk about the walk-away negotiation. In business, the person who is most willing to walk away from the deal holds all the power. In dating, it is exactly the same. If you're terrified of losing her, you have no power. You will agree to things you shouldn't. You will tolerate disrespect. You will lower your standards. And she will see this weakness and punish you for it. The most attractive trait you can develop is the willingness to lose her. This sounds counterintuitive, but it is the key to everything. When you are not afraid to lose her, you treat her like a normal human being, not a celebrity. You tease her. You challenge her. You call her out on her nonsense. You act like an equal or even a superior rather than a fan. Paradoxically, this lack of fear makes you impossible to lose. She will fight to keep the man who doesn't need her because he represents a challenge. She wants to know, why is he not obsessed with me like the others? What does he know that they don't? You become a mystery, and mystery is the breeding ground of obsession. Now, recognize the trap of over-contextualizing. When you tell a story, do you give 20 details before you get to the point? Do you explain why you are late with a 3-paragraph text? Do you justify your job, your car, your living situation? Stop. This is the behavior of a defendant in court. You are innocent until proven guilty. You do not need to justify your existence. The high-value man speaks in headlines. He gives the bottom line. If she wants more detail, she will ask. And when she asks, it means she is interested. By withholding the fluff, you create hooks. You make her work for the information. What do? I solve problems for rich people. What does that mean? It means I'm busy, but I made time for this drink. Be playful. Be vague. Be concise. Over-explaining is a sign that you are unsure if you're being understood, which is a sign of insecurity. Trust that you are clear. Trust that you are enough. If she doesn't get it, that's her loss, not your failure, that we must also touch on touch. The way a man touches a woman tells her everything about his confidence. The insecure man touches tentatively. He hovers. He asks permission with his eyes. He touches and then quickly pulls away like he touched a hot stove. This is creepy. It signals he is afraid of a reaction. The magnetic man touches with ownership. He does not grope. He guides. A hand on the small of the back to move her through a crowd. A firm touch on the arm to emphasize a point. The touch is solid, warm, and decisive. It lingers just long enough to register, then is removed. It is not a beg for sex. It is a communication of presence. It says, I am here, I am physical, and I am not afraid of your body. But this must be calibrated. You must read the feedback. But the initial move must come from a place of, I am allowed to be here. If you internalize that you are a sexual being and that your desire is natural and healthy, your touch will convey warmth. If you internalize that your desire is predatory or wrong, your touch will convey creepiness. It all starts in the mind. Finally, understand that this is a journey of becoming, not acting. You cannot mimic these behaviors for long if you do not actually believe them. You cannot fake a slow heart rate when you are terrified. You cannot fake abundance when you are lonely. The strategies I've shared, the silence, the eye contact, the slow movement, the willingness to walk away, These are the outer manifestations of an inner truth. The inner truth is that you are the prize. You are the protagonist of your movie. She's a guest star. If she plays her role well, she gets more screen time. If she doesn't, she gets written out of the script. This is not arrogance. This is self-respect. When you truly respect yourself, you stop tolerating lukewarm interest. You stop chasing ghosts. You stop begging for scraps. You stand tall. You breathe deep. You look the world in the eye. And you wait. You wait because you know that quality attracts quality. You know that by becoming a man of substance, a man of discipline, a man of silence, you're becoming a rare commodity in a world of noisy, anxious boys. The shift doesn't happen overnight. It happens in the moments. The next time you want to double text, don't. Put the phone down. Feel the anxiety burn and let it pass. The next time you are in a conversation and there is a silence, don't fill it. Look at her. Smile slightly. Let the tension build. Feel the power in that pause. The next time you want to explain yourself, stop. Shrug. Say, it is what it is. Watch how people react to your new weight. Watch how the room changes when you stop running around it and start becoming the center of it. This is the path of the superior man. This is the way of silent attraction. It is not easy, but it is the only way that works. Now you have two choices. You can click off this video, go back to your old habits, back to the anxious texting, back to the friend zone, back to wondering why you are ignored. Or you could decide right now that you're done with the games. You are done with the uncertainty. You are ready to master the deepest levels of human dynamics. What I have shared today is just the surface. There's a deeper layer of psychology, a blueprint for rewiring your entire social operating system that I cannot cover in a single video. If you are serious about not just understanding attraction, but mastering it, if you want the complete roadmap to becoming the man who never has to chase again, then you need to take the next step. I have put together a comprehensive resource that breaks down the advanced protocols of nonverbal dominance and evolutionary psychology. This is not for everyone. It is for the men who are ready to do the work. If that's you, check the link in the description. Don't just watch the transformation. Be the transformation. The world is waiting for you to take your place. Click the link. I'll see you on the inside.